Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ray has already fucked up the show, so nothing new there. Welcome back to another thrilling episode of Simple Mind Sports Show, latest and greatest in New England sports. Today, the Red Sox are playing a dangerous, in my opinion, annoying game. They're doing just enough to come up short. They've obviously landed what they consider to be their ace pitcher. I've got question marks about that. Certainly, there are question marks surrounding that. Is it enough? Should they do more? Can they do more? Obviously, the answers there are yes, but what can they specifically do to turn the tides? We want to do that. Yeah, Bobby, we're starting Red Sox. We are starting Red Sox. We should have told you. You could have come in a little bit later, but now you're here to suffer. But we're going to do more than that. We're going to start Red Sox. Their refusal to set the markets and intentionally stay a step behind. What that means for them. Can they turn the tides? Then we'll get into our Patriots stuff. All right. Hot seat population, Gerard Mayo. Is it actually coming true? Could our dreams be happening before us? Conflicting reports there at Foxborough yet again. Bill Belichick, the newest head coach of the UNC Tar Heels. That's a weird one. I'll touch on that. The Celtics' future. They're this part of an NBA season, weird to talk about the roster construction moving forward, but there's a reason. There's got to be a reason that all of these reports are starting to come up, including Derek White on the trading block. Didn't think we'd hear about that. This or that with Chief Bobby in a Simplest Minds of the Week, as always. And always we start with opening takes. We're taking a risk here. Bobby, I'm going to ask you to go first. Ray, don't steal his fucking take.
Boys, I figured it out. I figured out how Robert Kraft can get rid of Gerard Mayo while saving face. Promote him. Those from the corporate world know this is the exact way to do this. When you bring somebody along and you don't want to prove that you fucked up, you get that man another job. You promote him. You promote Gerard Mayo into some whatever VP of operations role where he can go out in front of the media and spout his corporate nonsense. Kraft gets to save face and the Patriots get a new head coach. It's perfect. I have solved it. I am a genius.
I don't hate that idea. VP of bullshit. That'd be great for Coach Vibes. They already have one. VP of, call it malarkey, I think is what.
Wow, you're old. That's very old school language you're going with.
I love it. I love the title. VP of malarkey for Ben McAdoo is pretty much spot on. You put the VP of bullshit right next to him and Coach Vibes and bring Vrabel or someone in here to actually do the football.
It's a perfect solution.
We are demoting Covington, so we've already got a nice demotion in play and a perfect promotion. Right out of the Optum Craft Management Playbook. I like it, Bobby. We are onto something. You are onto something there. Absolutely love it. Ray, in an effort not to have my shit stolen, which way would you – I will go next, but can you give me a hint of what you'd like to talk about?
Belichick, UNC.
Okay. I will go Belichick, UNC. No.
I thought you would.
I know. I don't really have a take on that. I'm actually not as fired up about it as a lot of people. I will go Red Sox here. There's how we started the show, the off season. They have finally made a move. They have taken one step beyond Chaim Bloom and his tenure here. They have let go of one of their top three prospects in Kyle Teal. But is it enough? No, it is not enough for me. They have to do more, and this intentional, deliberate response to stay a step behind the market or competitiveness, all having to do with money, is still frustrating. They still have to do more, and it feels like we're getting an insight into why that's happening, which is kind of what I want to talk about when we get to the Red Sox segment. So go ahead, Ray. Let's hear your Belichick to Tar Heels opening take.
No, just imagine you're so close to your final career goal of being the all-time winning coach in the NFL. You could go to the cemetery, piss all over Shula's grave and say, haha, motherfucker, I did it, only to find out no one wants you anymore. And now you're going to UNC, not the most prestigious college football town of all. Bobby, you probably tell us more, but yeah, it's not in Alabama, it's not in LSU, it's not in Michigan or Ohio State. It's fucking UNC football. I mean, how low have you gone to the bottom of the cellar of the college or football ranks to go to college football and at UNC? Bad look. It was a bad press conference. It was just an ugly thing. We'll talk more about it later, but woof, it is bad for Belichick.
Where would you put yourself on the ladder of final career milestones and goal lines? Was it when you got your desk at your plumber factory?
No, I think it's when your mother decided to do
Okay, I got you. We'll be talking about that. Of course, everything's on the table in the Simple Mind Sports Show. Friday Rewind, December 13th. Friday the 13th? Okay. Yep. live here December 12th. Welcome to the show. The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Missoula and MAYO are friends. What the fuck? Apparently, they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
Vacation. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's QUE. You idiot. If you idiots out there not quaying this live broadcast every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, then you are right there at the bottom of the totem pole with Dr. Big Mac, Dr. Botpat himself, bottom of the totem pole of dumb. That's where Ray resigns. If you're not clicking the subscribe button here, you're going to be there right with him. So welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. Bobby's got a new room. Looks great. Ray's real hyper. Wherever you're listening, your favorite podcast platform, rate, subscribe, review, and check the link here, either in the profile or in the comments, to get your free access to our newsletter Behind the Paywall. We'll read, curate, summarize, give you our opinions on the biggest stories from Boston sports, from your paywalled sites like ESPN, The Athletic, The Globe, The Herald, Boston Sports Journal, so on and so forth. We'll tell you what's going on. We'll give you the best pieces from that, from those articles. So you don't have to read it. You don't have to pay for it. Keep it simple. So go subscribe to that, either in the comments here or at simplemindsports.com. The Red Sox, Raymond, I'm going to talk to you here. Bobby doesn't know.
Because Bobby probably doesn't know.
I have a lot to say on this topic.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it. Red Sox refuse to improve their team by setting the market, specifically in pitching. But let's start with the big trade that went down this week. Garrett Crochet, a longtime target for the Red Sox, traded from the White Sox for your fourth best prospect, depending on what you're looking at. Catcher Kyle Teal, your first-round draft pick last year, Braden Montgomery, the infielder Chase Medro, and then something called Gonzalez, Boston's number 11th prospect. We don't pretend to be baseball prospect nerds on the show.
Bill fucking knew everything about these people, and I was dumbfounded when he was spewing off the.
For anybody new to the show, Bill was our old co-host that Ray has an affection for because he's actually his stepfather. So he brings him up from time to time. We used to call him the Queen because he was a real douchey cunt. And he does enjoy baseball, and we go to him from time to time in our text chain for things like this. And he was a big proponent of this deal, as am I. Kyle Teal is no small thing to get rid of. He's the top 20. He's a number 25 overall prospect in America.
All of baseball.
A good hitting catcher is not easy to come by. They've been touting this kid for years now. So certainly a prospect haul. They gave up a significant amount in prospects to land Mr. Garrett Crochet, who by all accounts is a stud, or at least has stud-like makeup in his stuff and his size, 6'4", like 250 or something, 245. Hard throwing lefty. There's a lot of you could compare him to a number of pitchers. Chris Sale comes up because they had a similar deal with Chris Sale 8 years ago from the White Sox, except this kid's not going to get hurt when someone blows on his wrist. It doesn't seem like. He has dealt with injuries.
I was going to say he had Tommy John surgery, so.
Everyone gets Tommy John surgery. That was the first question I asked Billy Baseball. When did he have Tommy John surgery? 2 years ago. It's a perfect time to get a 25-year-old pitcher, 2 years removed from Tommy John, because it's a rite of passage in baseball these days. Yeah. Everyone has to get it.
That's when you know you've made it into the
MLB. He had it already?
Yeah.
What was he, 23? He had Tommy John surgery?
Bobby, I know
Whoa.
you weren't a baseball guy, but you played Little League, and you'll remember this, right? And we weren't allowed to throw curveballs until like high school because everyone knew it was going to fuck up your arm, and they thought it would like screw up your development of growth. And now these kids are throwing as hard as they possibly can, which is much torque as they possibly can, as early as anybody with that mindset can get their hand on them, which is all youth.
We would still do it with wiffle balls.
Sure, which was worse for you.
Yep,
But
exactly.
the point is, you're not supposed to, and they are now. So everyone gets Tommy John surgery at 20 years old.
Interesting.
Here's the bigger point, though, Raymond. They're going to get this kid for $3 million. All right. So I want to get into the money of this, but his arbitration years are kicking in, and he has such little service time in the MLB. He started as a reliever, worked his way up to pitcher. I think most of the reports of this kid, he's good. He's awesome. His stuff is great. He's got some question marks on the makeup because last year's trade deadline, he said he would refuse to play for a team that traded for him without an extension. Sometimes crazy shit comes out when you're on the worst team in MLB history, which is basically what the White Sox were last year. So maybe he gets a little grace period, a little leeway there. But bottom line, mostly good stuff, but certainly question marks. He's only got one good year as a pitcher, which was last year. He still finished with a mid-3 ERA. But for the Red Sox, you give up one of your top prospects, but you're only going to have to pay this guy $3 million next year, and then you got 2 years of control with him. Seemed like the right price. Ray, before I get your opinion on it, let's hear what Mr. Craig Breslow had to say.
A legitimate, number one starter in Garrett. Left-handed, ton of swing and miss. Massive strikeouts, and feel like the best is still in front of him. So we're excited about what he brings, and obviously, we needed to trade really good players in order to be able to do this, but that's the cost right now, and we're very much focused on what we were able to get, the excitement that we have around adding him to the rotation. It adds depth, it adds quality, bona fide ace, and someone like that, like I said, that we feel, is going to continue to improve. Really excited about getting him into our pitching infrastructure, getting a chance for him to work with Bales, and winning a bunch of games at Fenway Park for us.
Bobby, I know you don't know who that is. What's your just initial reaction from that man speaking?
Well, so from that guy speaking is that he's a fucking dweeb. Number one. Okay. He's very nerdy, and he said he was excited. That does not look like excitement. All right. I know what excitement looks like, and that's not it.
You gotta put a nice Dungeons and Dragons in front of him, or something like that to get him fired up. That's Craig Breslow. I'm not sure what his title is. They don't do GMs over there at the Red Sox. He's president of baseball operations, probably. Ray, what's your take on just stick with the Garrett Crochet deal and player, and your thoughts?
Deal, great. I mean, you bring it over someone that actually has talent. As you can see, he played in the major leagues, so you're not banking on these minor league kids anymore. So I like that. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the whole, if I go to a contender, I want to be getting an extension. He does have some sort of crazy in him, like Chris Sale did. Also, the Red Sox are cheap fucks because they have missed out on opportunity after opportunity and don't want to spend money. So they're trying to appease the fans by trading some of their prospects to bring in a quote-unquote ace that isn't really proven anything on a worse team in the baseball, to now pay him $3 million, and hope everyone just doesn't look at everyone else signing players like the Yankees, who now have a bona fide top 5 rotation in the MLB.
Yeah, that's where your mind has to go. My mind is you can't trust the Red Sox. Since 2020, they've been feeding us bullshit about how they're going to spend, how they're going to attack. Last year was full throttle, and they continue to do less and less every season. And we've seen what the payroll looks like from John Henry. John Henry and his stooges continue to treat Boston Red Sox fans like a bunch of dopes, and we're not. We see right through the bullshit every single time, every single year. And now, you've really reached the peak of non-trust. No one's even. This is a good deal for the Red Sox. It's a deal that we've been asking them to do for a very long time, and nobody can get excited about it because we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, which is another fake pursuit for a top-line player in the game. They lost. I'm going to put this in air quotes for anyone listening. They lost out on Juan Soto by $65 million in a couple years. They were 3 steps behind that negotiation the entire time on purpose. Go see Mookie Betts. Go see Xander Bogaerts for other examples of the way that the Red Sox management and really ownership want to pursue high-end, aka really expensive players. Spoiler alert, they don't. Same thing with Fried, who went to the Yankees for 8 years and $218 million. You know what the Red Sox offer was? 7 years, $180 million. They were just a year off. If you're going to offer 180 over 7, then offer 218 over 8 if you actually want the player. It's not that hard. And you had an in with him. Lucas Giolito went to high school with him. He was linked to the Red Sox. He wanted to go to the Red Sox. If they wanted him, they could have got him for an extra year on the deal, on an 8-year deal for a 30-year player. It's not going to matter. You're going to lose that deal in the back end on these baseball contracts anyway. So that is why nobody trusts them. They are disingenuous at this time of year pursuing high-end players, and it's frustrating as hell, and it sucks.
Hey, but they were in on it.
Yeah, right. Just like Corbin Burns is still out there, and that's still a possibility. Hey, if they get Corbin Burns, everything's going to be okay. Corbin Burns, Bobby, is the top pitcher on the free agency market right now. Bona fide stud, MLB stud, but 30 years old. They don't want to play him $200 million for 6 years, which honestly, I'm kind of okay with. That is not a good business decision to pay a 30-year-old pitcher in the MLB upwards of $30 million a year for the next 7 seasons. You're going to lose the end of that deal. But that's what you do when you're a big market team and your revenues are the top 3 in all of professional sports, and you're worth $5 billion and you charge the most ticket prices in the league. You're supposed to go get that guy and lose some money on the back end in pursuit of championships. They're not. We know that. Stop lying to us. Okay. Let me stop chirping and let me hear Tomasi talk about this. This clip's a little dated. It was after the Soto thing, before Crochet, but he does get to, and
but he explains everything pretty much like
he
on
gets
par,
to
like
without me fucking blabbering on and sounding like an idiot.
56% saying, yeah, that's way too much money. John, how should Red Sox fans feel about the fact that they were in the sweepstakes, but just $65 million short?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, 56% of our viewers are wrong. Like, you should not feel good about losing out on Juan Soto. I do think that it is fair to say that Steve Cohen was not going to lose this player. And so even if the Red Sox had said 775, he would have said 800. If they said 800, he would have said 850. This was going to end with Juan Soto in a Mets uniform. I am not yet willing to give the Red Sox credit for how far they were willing to go. Obviously, it is going to depend on what they do the rest of the offseason. But unlike last year, when you remember they offered $300 million for Yamamoto, they didn't get him, and then they didn't spend any of it. They just kept it. This time around, Phil, I do think they are going to spend, and Red Sox fans, it may not be a Juan Soto caliber player, but there's going to be real players on this team in spring training.
Yeah, they obviously need to, and fans should be disappointed. If they thought this guy was going to be the centerpiece of the next great Red Sox team, this should disappoint you, because this is the kind of conversation that the Red Sox should be in on a regular basis, is being in the running for one of, if not the highest paid player in baseball. And so it's disappointing to me, because clearly they're interested. Clearly they were making pushes until the very end to try to get somewhat close. Although at the end of the day, Giles, it sounds like they weren't really even all that close at all. And so my whole thing is, if you're going to be in on these guys and you know it's going to get ridiculous, it's going to get bonkers. It always does with players of this caliber. Be willing to get a little nuts. Be willing to take that extra step and actually go the distance. It doesn't feel like they were willing to do that.
Yeah, my greater point here is stop jerking us around. If your plan is to be a upper mid-market style team where you're not going to spend top of the dollar and set markets on free agents, then have a different plan and be better at it. Don't waste your time faking a pursuit for Juan Soto. Go to the guy that's the next tier down and be the first one to offer him a good contract, not a great one, and set the mid-tier market. Like, just be proactive in whatever plan that you have. It seems like they are consistently reacting really to fan feedback more than anything else. I mean, that's probably why Devers is still here, because they booed John Henry at the Winter Classic a few years ago.
But do you think that the possibility that like the fans are just finally like sick of it? Like, if you listen to Felger and Maz, you listen to 98.5, people are calling in, and even though they're in these pursuits, and even though they got Crochet, they know they're full of shit, and that's probably the last move they're going to make. Like, you're going to get all these like mid-level guys now to fill up the roster spots or, fill the holes, whatever you need. But it's like they're finally figuring out like this is bullshit, and the only way to do it, to stick it to Henry, is not go to these games. And a lot of these people are not getting season tickets or not renewing because they're sick of the bullshit. Like, one guy called in and he said, like, I pay 6 figures for my fucking season tickets and I'm done. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm not doing this anymore. So I think fans are finally like on an uproar.
Yeah, but he paid the 6 figures.
No, I know, but he's done. I mean, that's what you're seeing. I mean,
they're losing market share. They're losing market share to the other teams in there. The problem is Fenway is a destination for tourists.
That's the problem. It's a fucking it's like
so the gate sales are still up, but they are probably taking a bath with their bullshit Nesson product. They're not. That's where a lot of their revenue used to come from. That a lot of and the Yankees and any of those teams that own their own broadcasting that generated a ton of money, and now with streaming and the internet, it just is not the cash cow it used to be. So,
well, did you hear what they're doing now too? They're selling. So basically, like other markets. So let's call it Oakland or whatever they're calling now, Sacramento. They're like selling their stream to them so they can have their their products watched over there.
Yeah.
So that's how they're trying to like make their money back, kind of.
Yeah, I heard that. It's going to be it's a weird time. And baseball's always been crappy with that. They've had, you couldn't take their clips or repost their clips from MLB.com. They had trademarks on it. Like, they just made it impossible to share their sport in an era where it's all about sharing stuff over social media, and they just
it's an old man's game, man. It's an old man's fucking they're all angry.
I did that rant last week, but I don't need to do that again. Let me ask you this final question, because going a little bit late here and Bobby's falling asleep. They have to do more. Okay, they have said that they're going to do more. They continue to say that they are in pursuit of another rotation pitcher. They're not signing Corbin Burns, so everyone can get that out of their head. Now the latest rumor is they are in talks with the Seattle Mariners for one of their starting pitchers, who everybody wants to think that it's Kirby. It's not Kirby. It's Luis Castillo, who is a 32-year-old good pitcher with 3 years left on a $20 million deal. Right in the Red Sox fucking wheelhouse. He's pretty good. Number 2, Billy Baseball's loved him, but he's not your bona fide starter. You're going to have to hope that Crochet is ready to take on that role as a bona fide MLB starter, and that will be a home run for the Red Sox. He'll be cheap, and he's an ace. Those guys are not hard to come by. That's a nice little fucking trick Breslov just played there if he can do it. So look, if they go trade for Castillo, Bregman is a lightning rod in the organization right now. Some of them want him. The nerds don't. Alex Bregman, third baseman from the Astros, 2-time World Series champion, baller, leader, good guy, good baseball player. They need a right-handed bat. Teoscar Hernandez is the other guy that's rumored to be coming to the Red Sox. He was rumored to come here last year. He wants to come here. He's a World Series champion. Go give the guy the money to come here. You have a $140 million payroll. You got $100 million to go to hit that tax threshold, Johnny. Just pay him the money. Pay somebody the money. They still haven't paid anybody any fucking money. So if they do that, they get a right-handed bat, they get 2 front-end starting pitchers, and fill out that bullpen with a couple arms. Look, you're in the playoffs. So ticket sales will continue to go up. And when the Red Sox are good and relevant, they in August and September, they come back. People they're interested. They just are. Can't help it. It's the Red Sox in Boston.
Well, what is a night in Boston, nice summer night like that, late in the summer. It's beautiful. It's fun to go down there in Fenway, have some cocktails and fucking, go watch the team. But I mean,
look, as much as we shit on baseball, September and August baseball, the pursuit of the pennant, the pursuit of the playoffs and playoff baseball, it's still entertaining, high drama stuff.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's just it's too long of a season and people get dragged down in the dog days.
Yeah.
All right, so let's leave it there. Certainly a lot more to do for the Red Sox. A golf clap, I guess, for Breslov for making that deal. But question marks galore. And God damn it, spend some money. Buy somebody. Buy something, please. Bobby, final thoughts?
So the Red Sox traded for this cunty guy who went 6-12 last year. Yeah, sounds like a shitty deal.
Okay. Headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you there, Richard. MLB free agency is officially underway after the biggest free agent has been signed by the New York Mets. Juan Soto agreed to a 15-year, $765 million deal, the biggest in pro sports history. After losing out on Soto, the Red Sox made a trade with the White Sox for the left-hand ace Garrett Crochet. The Red Sox sent catcher Kyle Teal, outfielder Braden Montgomery, and 2 other jamokes. The Celtics have been off since Saturday when they lost to John Morant and Marcus Smart in the Memphis Grizzlies. After 5 days off, they are home to take on the Detroit Pistons. The Bruins lost a nail-biter on Tuesday night in Winnipeg, where they lost 8-1. Jeremy Swayman was in goal for all 8 goals. They look to bounce back tonight in Seattle to take on the Kraken. Bill Belichick was announced as the new head coach for the University of North Carolina today. It was sad. It looked awkward. And at times, I cringed. It's just weird. And finally, the Patriots go on the road to take on the Arizona Cardinals after their bye week. Cardinals are favored by 5.5. This has been Headlines with the Obvious One. Back to you there, Richard.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
Thank you, Raymond, and sorry to the listeners for making you dumber. Pat Scraps, Mayo on the hot seat. We got a report, an article, I guess you'd call it, from Greg Bedard over the bye week with a number of heavy-hitting pieces out of it. Number one, I can just read off a couple of them here. Old Johnny Kraft there was never really on board with the succession plan of Gerard Mayo coming in. He's been the one leading the charge for calling around the NFL to see if anyone's available to either take over or help Mayo move in the right direction. Johnny Kraft not happy with that Gerard Mayo angle moving the Patriots forward. During that pursuit, it was found out that this year, during the season, was the first time they started looking back at last year, Gerard Mayo's last year as coach, when they decided to give him the reins within a contract, guaranteeing him the head coaching job. They're just finding out now that in the building, he was kind of an asshole. So not the best work there by the Crafts and their crack team. Also, I thought was interesting. I think this was a story. I don't know. A lot of stuff came out this week that when the Patriots were interviewing offensive coordinators this offseason, Gerard Mayo and Elliott Wolf in a room interviewing potential offensive coordinators, several offensive coordinators reported that they immediately took the Patriots off their list of potential teams that they would like to get hired by. They just declined the whatever offer may come their way they didn't like the vibe in the room. There's an oxymoron for you, Coach Vibe.
I see what you did there.
Wasn't putting off a good enough vibe for his future OC. And quote, conversations were light on football.
So what were they talking about, I wonder?
Oh, you know what Vibes was talking about. Just corporate bullshit where he said at his press conference, it's going to start in the weight room. We're going to build relationships. This team's going to be full of heart. We're going to be men. We're going to learn how to be men before we learn how to be football players. And then some nerd with a fucking tablet that's ready to show him, whatever rub routes that he's rubbing one out to is like, Gerard, like, I got good shit here. I got magic. We're going to score 100,000 points. You want to talk about fucking secret handshakes in the weight room? I'm out of here. And who are your receivers? What?
I'm good. See you later.
Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, number one, if Jonathan Kraft is actually feeling that way, that makes me feel good because he's probably the future of the Patriots. So if he at least acknowledges there's a problem and is trying to rectify it, okay, that's great. Thankfully that's happening. That was the first thing, too, in Bedard's piece when they had said about how in the defensive meetings that he was talking shit about the offense. So essentially what you're telling me is this guy who was brought in to make this great culture was part of the problem for creating a shitty culture last year, and then we promoted him. I thought that was one of the bigger, most underreported pieces that I heard really the whole year. That was like mind-blowing to me.
That still no one's talking about. No one's bringing that back.
To me, that is insanity. If that's actually true, verified sources, I mean, the Crafts need to take my plan immediately. Immediately.
Yeah, send him
To
up to
rectify the situation.
Send him up to VP of bullshit for Optum. And
Because remember last year when we were talking about this and we thought Steven Belichick was the asshole and that's why the defense was crumbling. We're all like, this is Belichick.
It was Mayo.
It was Mayo the whole time, but we thought it was Steven Belichick with his fucking. But that tongue was doing magic, baby. He knew what he was fucking doing out there.
let's play that. Let's hash it out a little bit more. So, the last season under Belichick, 4 wins, obviously total disaster. Mac Jones crumbled at his feet in the shadow of Belichick being a big meanie. The year before that, same Mac Jones, worst offensive coach in situation with the walking nutsack Matt Patricia. They somehow squeaked out 8 wins where a Ramondre Stevenson fumble at the 10-yard line away from going to the fucking playoffs. And the year before that, they went to the playoffs with 10 wins with the same dweeb Mac Jones at quarterback. So Bill Belichick got fired, took all the heat for creating this culture of dysfunction. And now we're finding out that the anointed one got his contract 2 years before they wanted to give him the job, and he's spouting off in team meetings, creating a culture of dysfunction and divide. And that's why you fired Belichick. You blamed that on him, which surely he had a large part to do with.
I mean, yeah, let's be honest.
Not taking him out of the total situation. But if you removed that piece of it, if you didn't anoint Jerod Mayo, if you let him go interview for the Panthers job and maybe he took something down there and he left the building, if you did not have Jerod Mayo as that divide, getting Bill's back up and turning the spite meter to 1,000, do you have Lombardi's fucking wins on the table next year and a somewhat healthy Bill Belichick-led team somewhere around 500 again? I mean, if you look at the history of Belichick, even without Brady, 4 wins is the outlier. That, 2 wins prior in the midst of this dysfunction, they were a borderline playoff team. There's no reason to think, especially with a Drake May or a suitable quarterback play, Bill Belichick wouldn't have a team at 500 knocking on the door of the playoffs. It wouldn't. I don't think it would look like this.
Do you think it came down to he went to Kraft and said, basically, this guy's a problem. Can you get rid of him? Like when they were in Germany, like they're probably like, let's talk about the future. And he pretty much said, Mayo's the problem. I would like to get rid of him. And Kraft's like, he's the heir apparent. Like, I'm not getting rid of him. And that's when they probably were like, well, then I'm done here or you're fired, whatever. Do you think that was part of the problem or no?
No, the spite mountain had built up too far. He went,
you think so? Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want to do, Robert. Good luck.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
You piece of shit. You owe me $20 million next year. I'll go do my stints with ESPN and put on a sleeveless Tar Heel sweatshirt and bang my 25-year-old girlfriend. I don't give a fuck, Robert. What he was saying was, okay, you want this guy? Okay.
Good luck.
Go ahead. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
That is what he was saying. Yeah, Belichick obviously knew that the guy didn't know anything about ball, so.
No. I mean,
how could he? What did he? How did he know? Yeah,
No,
he played. Obviously, he played, but I mean, he never had a coaching experience. He never was defensive coordinator. He never got that title. He was just the linebackers coach. So he never really had the clipboard. He never was anointed any coordinator position. He was just handed the keys to the fucking head coaching position.
Early in Mayo's career, even as a player, the reports out of locker room was they used to call Mayo Belichick's son. Oh, you mean Bill's son, Mayo? So their relationship was super tight. Was continued to be. Obviously, he brought him onto his coaching staff, and you can surmise when that broke or when that relationship severed is when Mayo went behind his back to secure a succession plan for Belichick. It's not like they sat Belichick down and go, here's what we think, with Steve right there with the Steve Belichick with the defensive headset and the clipboard, and Bill's obvious plan to leave a empire of his cronies and family members when he decided to retire. That's what he was trying to do with the Patricia and the Joe Judge and McDaniels and his sons. He was trying to leave it, and Mayo was part of that, I'm sure. He was trying to leave it in the hands of people that were in his inner circle. His inner circle just crumbled, and the more that comes out, it's starting to see like Jerod Mayo was the tip of that spear that started to make that crumble. That may be taking a little too far, maybe a little bit far of a stretch, and not putting enough on Bill and his inability to keep shit together. But I like it. I like the theory. And that goes right back to Kraft. Beautiful segue. Jonathan might not like him, but Thunder still owns this team. And I'm not sure the Crafts can quit Mayo. I don't
Think there are too many ebbs and flows to personnel acquisition. Like drafts, you have a good year, you have a bad year. That's like everybody in the NFL. That it's too hard to judge a guy on one draft or one free agent period. And I think you have to give him more time than that. I also think there's this element of it. And I think this applies to Gerard Mayo too, sometimes it's hard for owners to admit they were wrong. And the owners here invested a lot in Gerard Mayo. They invested in him as a player. They invested in him as an assistant coach. They basically kicked the greatest coach of all time out the door to hand the job to Gerard Mayo. So, look, I saw this in Dallas with Jerry Jones. One of the reasons he was so reluctant to let go of Jason Garrett is because he viewed Jason Garrett as his creation. I think I think a similar dynamic exists here. I don't think Kraft wants to be wrong about Gerard Mayo. I, for that matter, don't think they want to be wrong about Elliott Wolf either.
I don't like that.
That's bad.
Very bad.
That's very bad.
When your ego is starting to get compared with Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
When you say Jerry Jones in the same sentence as the New England Patriots, like, ooh, is that what we're going down right now?
Well, that's where they are. They're both 80-year-old owners that their best years are behind them, and they're still trying to catch up to their previous glory, which they can't. It isn't going to be of their own doing to get to that glory. They're just going to have to get other people to do it, and they refuse to find those people. The right.
Well, they both have their sons waiting in the wings, like, "Hey, Dad, I'm ready to fucking go," and it doesn't. Yeah, that's not going to help. That matters.
Also in Bernard's piece, when it comes to Mayo's job security, he believes these last 4 games last month will have a lot to do with it, and the way that the Patriots finish out the season, even if they finish out winless, which would be 7 losses in a row to end the season, to finish with 3 wins, the worst record since 1992 or 4. He still believes, you can see why in that clip, that Mayo's job security is okay if they compete, if they're not blown out or quit, or if they just have a good showing. He thinks Mayo's okay. But if the thing goes the other way, a very real possibility that the Crafts admit they're wrong and move on. Meanwhile,
before you go real quick, but who's going to determine if they competed?
I mean, I think as much ego is in play, it takes a whole lot to not see through 3 wins and a team that has no positive direction. Like you can be the most egomaniac in the world and understand that. And they know what success looks like. They had 26 years of Belichick. Before that, Pete Carroll, didn't have a tremendous track record here, but took him to the playoffs one year and held a good program. And he went on to be a Hall of Fame coach. Before that was Parcells, one of the greatest coaches of all time. So they understand what a good, healthy organization looks like running. And if they don't see that down there, then, I would imagine if it gets real bad, like 7 straight losses and they get blown out here at the end and everybody hates it.
Imagine having that on your resume, though. Like, you have Bill Parcells that you had on this. You had Pete Carroll, Hall of Famer, Bill Belichick, Hall of Famer, and then Gerard Mayo. Like, which one of these doesn't fit into this whole fucking picture right now? It's Gerard Mayo. Like, you fucking swung for the fences trying to put one over on Bill Belichick, saying, it's not you, it's us. We knew how to do this. It's our organization. It's our philosophy, not you, Bill. And then you have Gerard Mayo here saying, yep, I'm ready to go, guys. And look at what he did. 3 wins, baby. Let's fucking go.
Hoorah, hoosh, baba. Yeah, speaking of Gerard Mayo, seems to continue to have a firm grip on that locker room in the bye week. Here's Austin Hooper.
They're coming back now with these final 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, every game, you're not just being watched by this team, you're being watched by every team. So, I mean, like, what do you want to put out there? Do you want to bust your ass for your teammates, or do you want to get ready for off-season? So, I mean, I've been in this situation a couple times for different teams. It just comes down to personal choice. I mean, you're looking for what vacation you want to go to, or you want to be a professional and handle your business. So, that's the decision we all have to make individually.
Audio was a little low there. What he said was you can be a professional and handle you can go on vacation, or you can be a professional and handle your business. Bobby, who do you think he was talking to or about in that clip there?
I can only assume it is the shittiest wide receiver room in the NFL. And I mean that as far as how they play and their general attitude and demeanor.
Yeah, their overall presence in life.
They're a bunch of cunts.
That was a not so veiled shot at his offensive teammates. and
He looks like he just hates being here. He looked pissed.
He looks like Apkowitz. You see that fucking nose on that guy? Holy
and
fuck.
kind of the sloped forehead too.
Yeah. I wonder if he ever went to Vermont to talk to a
man,
14-year-old girl.
He's. I don't think we're not putting that on you, Austin. All right. I think he's doing the right thing here. He's calling. Let's compare those shitty players to Apkowitz. Okay, those guys need it.
That's better.
You know who else is starting to look like this and sound like this? Drake May. We don't have a clip of him. I'm sure they'll lose this week. We'll grab one. He's starting to sound not quite. I won't call it dejected, but I think he's going to get himself to a place real quick where he will blow out the wide receivers. Like Brady style. Fuck you. You're not working. You're not running the right routes. I'm not throwing you the ball. Coach, give me another guy. Put him in here. See if he can do it. Because that kid doesn't want to lose. He wants to win. I'd heard it in his last press conference, the last law. He was just not satisfied. And you could feel it. It was because his wide receivers suck. And maybe his offensive line too. But you're right. Hooper was talking to those wide receivers. For sure, Polk and Baker, whoever else, went down to Miami or whatever and got dick down on some ladies and got their fucking freak on. And
you've been using that a lot lately, haven't you?
I like it.
You think they got the game to get down there and get dicking down? I don't know if they do. Polk doesn't have any confidence. Okay, the best thing he could do was maybe the pool boy.
Do I think a 22-year-old multi-million-dollar professional athlete has the game to go down there and get it done? Yep. Yeah, pretty sure they got it. Or if they don't, they'll just pay for it. Meanwhile,
that's a totally different thing. Paying for it, any asshole can pay for it. But to go down there and get it on swag and a can-do attitude, it's a totally different fucking thing.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
okay, any asshole could you don't need the money and the fame or anything. All you need to do is be what that biddy needs that night.
And that's your PSA for the.
You're goddamn right. Clip that shit up.
Forget about the old frumpy white guys and Hooper and Hunt and Henry staying home in the weight room in cold ass New England. No.
Exactly.
They're not worried about what biddies need.
No, exactly.
I know this isn't in the email exchange, but did you guys see Travis Hunter at all talking about like he had like a little Q&A kind of thing with all like people, like basically you can ask him questions or whatever live or whatever. They did ask him about playing, like how would you feel teaming up with Drake May next year, and he goes, nope. Pretty much he fucking put that right off the table. He's like, nope, that wouldn't work out very well.
Can I tell you how much I want anything to do with anybody coming out of that Colorado program?
Oh, you're so old. You're such an old man.
New.
You know what I saw today? Colorado's fourth in their what conference are they in?
The
Big 12.
Big 12.
They're fourth in their conference. Do you know how many times they played the top three teams in that conference?
None.
0.
Yep.
You know how many times they beat the 6, 7, 8, 9 ranked teams in that conference?
4.
Once. And they lost to the rest of them. And then the rest of their wins came at the bottom 6 of whatever conference they played against. They are a hyped darling of the media because of Deion Sanders, and those kids are too small and not playing against the best competition. Hunter will be a bust because he'll be drafted too high, and Schroeder will go to the Raiders, and they will suck like everybody else that goes to the Raiders.
Sanders is one of the most overrated
They
players.
will both be bust. Give me nobody from Colorado. And I don't know shit about college football, but I know I am 100% right on that.
I think Travis Hunter will have a good career.
You are wrong. Quick break.
Please welcome the new head football coach at the University of North Carolina, Coach Bill Belichick.
Thank you. Thank you. Bubba, I believe you have a presentation for Coach. Chancellor also.
All right. You got a jersey. And I did get a new sport coat for the occasion.
Oops, sorry, Bubba.
Well, Chancellor, thank you for the sweatshirt, but truth of the matter is, I already have one.
Okay, Ray, there's the full intro to Bill Belichick's press conference at the University of North Carolina. Anybody listening, it was fairly cringeworthy display of hoity-hokey college shit, frankly. I heard your thoughts in the opening take. Bobby, I'll get yours, but I'll just give you mine. I'm not that offended by this, frankly. I'm not offended by the press conference. All press conferences are awkward and weird, especially intro press conferences. They all are. They're all new to the place, and they're all kind of walking on footsteps. In colleges, all these colleges, especially annulled old colleges that their shit doesn't stink, and they believe they're better than everybody else, and they're all legacy people, and they have a massive history, and their life is about UNC. Like, yeah, they all do this. It's like this is the world that they live in. It's world UNC. So, and people eat that shit up. They love it. They love it. So I'm not offended by it. Yes, on the surface, it's definitely cringeworthy and awkward and silly. And I'm also not offended by Belichick going to college. I actually think it's kind of cool. There's a clip we're going to play from McAfee. It'd be more interesting as Patriots fans to see him beat Schuler's record. And, I guess that would be fun. But based on what he said and what the reports are, he's going to college to treat it like the NFL. The NIL has turned college football into a professional organization, and he's going to treat it like that. And I think that will be more interesting for me to see if he can succeed at that level than to see if he can drag the Jaguars to 7 wins the next year and get Shula's record and go out on a whimper in the NFL. He's not going to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. That wasn't happening. He was going to go
because no one wants him. I'm sorry. You're going on a little tangent right now. No one wanted him. That's why he's going to UNC. No one wanted Bill Belichick. He had his people go out there and have feelers. Chicago didn't want him. Jacksonville didn't want him. Philly, they're fucking on the prize to go to probably the NFC Championship game. Dallas, they don't want him. They want someone younger. They probably want Vrabel. No one wanted this guy. That is why he is in UNC. He can't chase the record anymore because nobody.
And that's their problem. I'm not. People are saying, "Well, Belichick, fucking, he sucks." The NFL is stupid. Then, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles and you fall short because Sirianni can't coach in the game and call timeout, Bill Belichick could win that team a Super Bowl. If you're the Bills and fall short again because McDermott doesn't call a timeout calls a timeout instead of spiking the ball and can't win a game in which Josh Allen scores 6 fucking touchdowns, you're stupid, NFL. We just called him stupid, and we just played out a whole scenario where it was Gerard Mayo that spearheaded the failure and the demise of the Patriots, not necessarily Bill Belichick. If you're the NFL and you don't want Bill Belichick,
you're an idiot.
You would rather take these douchebags instead of Bill Belichick right now for the next 3 years. I'm sorry, you are in the wrong here. Now, there has to be some parameters there. You probably can't hand over the whole thing for Belichick, and if that's what he was asking for, then that's probably a bridge too far. But the reports are that's not what he was asking for. He was willing to take a step back from that. He was willing to do it in Atlanta, and those cucks down there convinced Arthur Blank not to do it because they didn't want to get big time by Belichick. That's what's happening. The executives in power don't want to get cucked by Belichick because they know he's smarter and better than them, probably at their own jobs. That's why. I don't think it's a skill thing. That's why I'm excited for him to go down there. I know you hate the big extended playoffs in the college football, Bobby.
I think it's awesome.
As a casual viewer, I think it's great. And you don't think with $20 million at his disposal, Bill Belichick can maybe get that team? And we know college football is full of just media bullshit. We just talked about with Colorado. You don't think they're going to give them a little bump, North Carolina, if they get a good season next year? Let's see if we can get these guys in the playoffs and Bill Belichick gets a little magic, gets himself to the final 8, maybe final 4, 3 years. If we're talking national championships, that's a story, man. That's more exciting than him going to fucking Atlanta Falcons, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that this was one of the most surprising things that I've seen happen in sports. Really, I thought it was bullshit. I thought it was just him putting out feelers saying, hey, NFL teams, come get me, just as kind of like a mutual publicity stunt. Then when it actually happened, I was truly stunned. And just we're touching on the thing with the NFL. I think it is kind of dumb that another team doesn't give him a shot. I think the NFL is leaning way too much into young new coaches because they just don't know how to set up a program. Like occasionally retreads that just know how to set up a full program and be able to guide a team through everything that the organization needs, not just call plays, not just draw up plays or something. There's so many more things. Look at what's going on with New England. We have people here that don't know how to run a program. Sometimes you just need someone to kind of set up the whole thing, but maybe they do need to be told what they can and can't do. A guy like Belichick needs that. But I think it is exciting. I don't care that he didn't, what he's doing. I'm not offended by it. If he wants to coach, I think it could add an exciting new trend to college football where more professional coaches coming in. Harbaugh did it. Now Belichick's doing it. Maybe somebody else could. It could be a continued trend.
We know Harbaugh's not going to do it because he's probably going to take those Chargers to the playoffs.
Also, he's awaiting a suspension, and the next time he steps back into
so he's never coaching college football again. This job has to work. He's coaching for his fucking life.
Yeah, and if it'll be interesting to see how Belichick deals with the NCAA. Like that's a storyline in itself.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Those assholes. I mean, yeah, I think
I can't wait to when the first kid skips class and it gets back to Belichick.
Yeah, he just like cuts
all those scenarios.
Well, that's the thing too, because
the team and like ruins his life. Like
that's
you're
the
off
thing.
The team, therefore your scholarship to the school is gone. Go back to wherever you came from and work the gas station. You're out. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
He's an asshole. He hates kids. Like this is going to be a formula. This could be a formula for disaster.
Yep.
Like he doesn't.
That's true either. People keep saying that. Like he just makes you work hard. So if you have the right,
but these kids are pussies.
No, they're not.
Richard.
You know who would have been excellent with Bill Belichick? Drake May.
Oh yeah,
would have been excellent with him. He would have absolutely been. That's true.
Their paths at UNC and New England missed by a year.
Yeah,
and he would have been great. There are still young people. It's not like generationally people just don't get soft. Like there are still sections of people that take good hard coaching, and generally those are the ones that succeed. Frankly, there are still people that come up in harder situations that understand what it takes to what hard work is. The world is softer, therefore, eventually people get softer. But I've always pushed back in that. Belichick just makes you work hard. He's not necessarily an asshole. He can be, certainly. But to his players, I think he cares about them, believes in them if they are giving him what he wants, which is just hard work.
Yeah.
And I'm, like I said, I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like. All right. We had Celtics talk on here, but frankly, it was a little bit of a fluff subject. Did you want to talk Celtics, Ray, or you want to save that for next week?
Next week.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get Jack on here.
Yeah, we'll see if I heard that wrong. Jack on, Jack off. There was something in there that I couldn't quite.
You heard Jack off.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. So in that case, we'll come right back with this or that with Chief Bobby. Sorry.
You all right?
Yeah, I just read Welch's text message.
They keep popping up on my fucking screen.
Yeah.
I try not to laugh and
in a separate text.
Sure, it was riveting.
We've traumatized a friend with some Asian poop videos. So, Bobby, the floor is yours.
Excellent. We'll start it off easy here. Lowe's or Home Depot? What's
Lowe's.
The preference?
Home Depot, because they sell Milwaukee. I know you're going to say I'm stupid, but Milwaukee is the superior power tool brand. I go to Home Depot just because of that.
I go to Lowe's because it's closer.
Yeah, Home Depot is the better of the two. Lowe's seems weird. I don't know. It seems like a weird place.
Blows.
They're followers.
Blows.
Everything's blue. It's stupid. It should be orange.
Mm-hmm.
Point taken. I'm wrong. I will change my opinion.
It's big of you to do that. Thank you. Have a 10-foot fish tank in the house or a talking parrot?
People that have parrots in their houses are fucking weird and probably serial killers. So give me the 10-foot fish tank.
I feel the same way about people with fish tanks. I think they're queers.
I said weird. I said weird, not queer.
Fish tanks are weird. We had a fish tank when I was a kid, and we went to Florida, and the heat broke, and it froze. And then when the heat with the fish in there in the water, you could see them obviously. And then when the heat came back on, they came back alive.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Next time you're with my mother, ask her about that. Good story.
Hey, Kathy. Kathy.
Actually, I think she told your mom about it. Hey, Irene.
Yeah.
No, I go fish tank because I would shoot a talking parrot. Do I get to shoot the talking parrot?
It's your pet. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your property.
I'll take the talking parrot and I will just shoot it.
Unless you could teach the talking parrot to make mother jokes.
Oh, that's
duh. Yeah.
Irene, less teeth.
Oh shit.
Sorry, go on.
Sitting in a reclining chair with your legs up or sitting on the couch with your legs on the coffee table. What's more comfortable for you?
Recliner with the fucking legs up.
Yeah, I'll tell you who reclines with their legs up. Oh, that one was too easy.
That was a layup.
That was a layup.
No layup.
That's I don't know. That's a good
For
one.
me, it's couch with the coffee table. The chair doesn't give enough incline.
Can I ask you a question? Do you eat at said coffee table?
What about the coffee table?
Do you eat at said coffee table?
I don't. It's then on a plate, but occasionally, yes.
No, Bobby eats out of his parrot's fucking bowl and then like a little bird and then shits like a bird.
What are you, some type of clean freak?
No, I'm just saying it's just weird. That's weird.
Unbelievable.
You don't eat at a coffee table?
No, I eat at a fucking table at a dining room. Okay? Or at the
What are you, a traditionalist? You can't possibly eat a meal in your living room?
Is that because of the bend ratio? It's too far to bend down the angles of.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the bend ratio. Just because I'm a little thicker than you guys, I'm not going to talk about the bend ratio.
Who does talk about the bend ratio?
Your mother.
Okay. Off the rail. Go ahead.
Completely. Speaking of off the rail, dry hump your wife's leg or beat off old school imagination only.
Beat off imagination only.
Yeah, definitely.
I would dry hump that leg. You kidding me?
Until completion?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Vine. What is wrong
That
with
would be. Could you imagine?
Yes, I'm actually picturing this in my head right now.
Just a little bit longer.
Yeah. Like, how long would you have to follow?
Oh, that one, when I thought of that made me laugh.
It made me laugh.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
It's pretty. I'm going to laugh when I do it tonight.
Which one?
I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, very good. All right. You don't do any Christmas shopping, but you get no gifts, or do all the shopping and get the gifts. You would get
no shopping and no gifts.
No gifts.
Yeah, I know. You never get back what it is you actually feel like you pay. It's never an equal exchange.
I don't even get gifts now anymore. It's over. It's all that is done. I just give and give and give and give. All I ask for in time is a little peace and quiet.
And you don't get it.
No, I don't.
No, I hear you. Stop and Shop or Whole Foods?
Neither. Can I take it? Neither.
Well, what I'm really getting at is more of the
40/20 or regular.
Yes.
Oh, so give me Hannaford. I go to Hannaford. Does that count?
Sure. As opposed to
Whole Foods, who is fucking stupid and way overpriced and has stupid food for fucking people like Rich.
I don't go grocery shopping. It's one of the most stress-inducing places I could ever.
Really? I love it.
Do you do the delivery?
Obviously. No, my wife does the grocery shopping. We will she might do a delivery. Like I'll go and pick it up. I will go. I went this weekend. I just don't enjoy it.
Oh, I love it.
We have
it's not an enjoyable
Wegmans
experience.
Wegmans is like a nice in between of
Ooh,
the cheap and the
Wegmans is awesome.
I would normally do all my shopping at Whole Foods. However, what pisses me off is why can't they just have normal condiments? I don't want your bullshit 365 condiments. I want the fucking classics. Just store the fucking normal condiments there, and then you would get people in your stores all the time. Nobody wants your bullshit there, Whole Foods. Fuck off.
we really had no business answering that question. This was purely a get off the chest moment for Chief Bobby.
Sorry, apologies.
Fair enough. Okay. You can never drive any faster than 5 below the speed limit, or you can never ever come to a full stop while driving. Always have to be moving.
Oh, I'm under the 5 speed limit, under 5.
Why is that,
Easy.
Rich?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I take it slow.
It's not,
Also, I'm drinking. That's a joke.
Joke.
Yeah. Okay.
I do generally drive the speed limit or like 2 miles above it or 2 miles below it. I don't drive fast, so that's not going to bother me.
Very nice. I just like the idea of having to drive where you always have to keep it rolling. Like in different situations, how you would play it when I was thinking this out in my head. Like, you have to stop real short and keep it rolling and time it right, because otherwise you're just going to have to let yourself roll into traffic.
Were you listening to
It
Limp
seems like an
Bizkit?
interesting challenge.
You're listening to Limp Bizkit, rolling. What?
On the day-to-day, that would be an interesting challenge. In an emergency, I think you'd like the ability to stop.
You just got to figure it out. Swerve, baby. Swerve.
All right. Well, I will drive very slowly past your fatal accident then.
Give a little honk.
Yeah.
Have perfect floors but a crummy ceiling, or pristine ceiling and shitty floors.
Perfect floors, crummy ceiling, terrible floor.
Rich laughs at my ceiling all the time, so I guess I'll go perfect ceiling, crummy floors.
I got a patched in my. I got a ceiling patch right now that I haven't fixed up for months. Doesn't bother me. Everyone.
What floor is it in? What floor?
Main floor, right above.
Oh.
Just you see it immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Rich,
I have a similar thing in the downstairs bathroom that just sits there. So yeah, give me the pristine floor.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything for it. Like it just happens. It's just pristine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just which one would you rather live in? A great floor and a bad ceiling, or the other way around?
Floor. Pristine floor.
You sleepwalk frequently or have night terrors every night?
My wife does both of these, and it fucking scares the shit out of me. I don't want either.
She
But if I had-
sleepwalks?
Oh yeah, so one time when we were like dating back in the day, I woke up and she was trying to crawl up the wall like Spider-Man, and I go, Kelly, are you all right? And she like looked at me and just like crawled back in the bed like nothing fucking happened. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I talked to her about it the next day. She's like, what are you talking about? Like she didn't know she did this.
It's like, you're a fucking idiot, Ray.
Yeah. But
It's like the ring. That's why I sleptwalk when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Yeah, I think that's like a normal kid thing. I will definitely sleepwalk occasionally.
Yeah, the night terrors are really bad.
Yeah, night terror sounds scary, but sleepwalking sounds like it could be dangerous.
Yeah, but night terror is gonna wake you up, and like you're gonna have shitty sleep every night.
And you'll be waking up sweating. Maybe I should do night terrors because then I can lose a little.
It's a nice weight loss.
There you go. Yep.
You?
Makes sense.
Yep.
Do you prefer a limited series or a full-on?
Full on, baby.
season
Give me the
show?
full on. Give me the full on.
Prison Break season 1, 2,
2,
3,
3, 4,
5.
5, 6, 7, 8. The new one.
Limited series. I don't have enough time, and it's way better. They have a thought, and they execute it in 4 hours of television. It's perfect. It is the perfect medium. A movie isn't long enough. A TV series is way too long, and it gets fucking shitty after a while because their idea that they had is expired.
Every single television series would be a limited series if it wasn't for corporate greed. The creators of that television series would make it a limited series if they had their choice.
Like Friday Night Lights.
From an artistic standpoint, I agree.
Yeah. I finished Friday Night Lights. That could have been in one season.
Exactly.
It was
Lost. They wrote 4 seasons of Lost with the story to completion, and they made them go 3 more. And that's why those other seasons suck.
2 more. It was 6 seasons.
Okay, then maybe they had 3 seasons. They went 3 seasons too long. Maybe they had 3 seasons written out. I don't remember what it was. Either way, every television series is like that.
Every long running show hits that point where it's just like, well, we've run out of shit to do, so let's do this.
Except for Seinfeld or Sunny or like the comedy shows that are not
where it's each one's its own.
and-
Yeah.
Well,
and
Prison Break did have a freaking really good run too.
Right. We'll be right back with Simplest Minds of the Week.
Oh, back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
I will say, I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, I do have family members with Down syndrome. It almost got me. I dodged it, but it nicked me. Bit of a day walker myself.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as stupid does.
Simplest Minds of the Week. We got a number of candidates here. Let's start with.
I don't.
Okay.
By the way,
great. Let's start with then Brett Favre. This clip is not going to give us a summation of all things dumb by Brett Favre, but we can tack onto it if we'd like. This is just the latest incarnation of Brett Favre being an asshole / an idiot.
Brett Favre issued what might be the most out-of-touch apology of the year. By now, you've seen his viral confrontation with Mark Gastineau, but context matters here.
I'm gonna get my sack back, dude. You probably would hurt me. Well, I don't care. You hurt me.
Gastineau's mad about this play here. Favre clearly laid down to let Strahan sack him. The gesture made him the single-season sack king, but a few days before the game, Favre told the media that if Strahan needed a sack late in the game, he'd design a play to help him out. The two are good friends, and with the Packers up big, that's exactly what happened. You can see the whole offense thought a run was coming, but Favre kept it and folded softly at Strahan's feet. He even doubled down and hugged him while the Giants defense patted him on the back. After the game, Favre insisted that he switched the play from a run to a bootleg, but not a single member of the offense backed up the obvious lie. Now, after Gastineau confronted him, Favre tried apologizing on X, writing, "I was trying to close out a game and squeeze the last bit of fun out of a hard-fought game. I have a great deal of respect for Mark. I hope he joins me in the Hall of Fame." Mind you, this is all coming from the same guy who stole welfare funds from his own people who just so happen to be the poorest in the nation. Brett Favre has completely disgraced himself, and the NFL should consider changing that play from a sack to a tackle for loss. I'm Fred Michael Smith, and that's my take.
What an asshole. I thought I sent you the clip of Gastineau actually confronting Favre, which is
it was there like really quickly, and Favre didn't know what to fucking do. It was like
the actual clip though is longer than it should be.
Yeah.
Him confronting him, and Gastineau clearly has. I mean, he's been diagnosed with every like ex-football CTE dementia disease that you can get. So his speech is, you kind of heard a clip of it there, and Favre is just like,
hey, dude.
I don't know. And like he's serious. He doesn't know if he's serious. It's very awkward. And then like whatever Favre's handler brushes him away. But it's tense and awkward. Yeah. I remember that when that happened, and I remember thinking it's bullshit.
Oh yeah, because he just laid down. He laid down for him.
It was obviously bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did steal a bunch of money from welfare and suing the state for it, and stole money from college. What did he do? He took the welfare money and gave it to his daughter's volleyball team or something.
Yes.
He's a prick.
He's a career asshole.
Also sent the dick pics to Jenna.
Oh, we don't have to talk about that. I mean,
no, that's cool.
That's fine. Yeah,
that's just a shooter shooting his shot.
Yeah.
Here's a shooter shooting their shot. Kadarius Toney. I forget what this clip is. I think I remember what it is. If it is what it is, then it's very funny. Please go.
Talk about Kadarius Toney, the fucking GOAT. He retrieved 2 punts. One of them he fumbled, and the other one he got a penalty for taunting. Oh no, it's fair catch. He fair caught it and then got a penalty for taunting. The taunting is way funnier than the fumble. That's taunting amazing. After a fair catch.
The score was like 28-7.
There are 240 wide receivers in the NFL that have played at least one snap this year. Where do you think Kadarius Toney is in total fantasy points?
Last, because he's fumbled.
Dead last.
Yeah.
240th out of 200. And that includes 50 players that have scored 0.
Get out. Get out.
This is half PPR. He has negative 0.8 points in half PPR. He is literally dead last in fantasy points this season.
The happiest I've been all day hearing that.
We talk about
like a nerd alert there.
I like those guys.
Oh, Bobby, stop it.
Like
funny. It's funny.
The 2 punts and the penalties and the taunting made me laugh out loud.
People that have 0 points in fantasy, Kadarius Toney has negative 0.08.
The taunting after they're right. The taunting after the fair catch is
a beautiful
next level. That's that's
Do you okay? Want to make a bet? Does he
fair
play
catch,
another
suck my
game?
dick, bitch. Like,
Do you think he plays
Also
another
losing.
game in the NFL?
What's that?
Do you think he plays another game in the
No.
NFL?
No. He already got cut by the Browns the day after that happened.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to get picked up by another team. I think he's done.
NFL is dumb and he's fast. Someone will put him on his team. He's young and he's fast and he'll be cheap.
Okay.
Someone will think they can get him. My answer, yes, he will play. Ohio's congressman. What's the story? I forget the story. Ohio congressman
He submitted a bill that it would have been a felony to supplant a flag on field.
Yeah, basically they're getting all butthurt because Michigan tried to plant the flag, and then they all had that unsportsmanlike conduct, and people got pepper sprayed and all that shit. So now Congress is trying to come out, or politicians in Ohio are trying to make it illegal to plant the flag at the middle of Ohio State's field.
I have 2 thoughts because I thought this was an actual congressman, but it says Ohio politician. Can we possibly find who this Ohio politician is, right, in like 30 seconds or less before the end of the show? Because if this is just, can you take that down?
Yep.
If this is just like some nobody, no name politician that knows how to shoot his shot and get himself in the headlines, I kind of respect it. If it's an actual person of power that is serious, you're an idiot.
His name is Josh Williams.
What's his title? What's his
Ohio State Rep Josh.
Yeah, perfect. Love it. Great. Keep going, John. Ohio State Rep's got to make a name for himself. We got to stop these kids. I'm here for the kids. Get my name out there. God damn it. That should have put. What's his name?
Josh
Williams.
Josh Williams.
It would make it a felony to plant the flag at the middle of Ohio State Stadium, which is exactly what set off the brawl. No person shall plant a flag. Oh, the Bob Dylan movie came just up. No person shall plant a flagpole with a flag attached to it in the center of the football field at Ohio State Stadium of the Ohio State University on the day of a college football competition, whether before, during, or after the competition. Whoever violates this section is guilty of a felony of the 5th degree.
Okay. Second question. What's his political party?
Democrat.
Oh, fuck. Nope. He's a lib. Nope, not going to work. You can't do that.
Okay, he's a Republican.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Great game plan. Perfect game plan. If you're a lib, you can't do that. You're just going to be seen as soft. But as a Republican, now it's like, you're looking after the people. That's a great play. Go for it, Josh. Keep it rolling, baby. The only thing he did wrong there was he didn't institute a death penalty clause. Like if you do it twice, you get shot like on site. This is not a Simplest Minds of the Week. We like to sometimes end this show with an uplifting moment, and this is what I have for you today.
Der Kippmoment. Boah. Eine ganze Halle fiebert mit.
Und die Rampe bewegt sich.
Oh, der Pokal, bleibt stabil, stabil.
How fucked up
Noch
were you
wackelt
when you watched this?
Yeah, relatively.
Benjamin Danker. Ist das soft?
When you said this to me, I'm
ist
like,
das
what the
gut?
fuck
ist das
was
cool?
Rich on when he said this to me?
Ist das präzise? Und jetzt geht's gegen die Uhr. Die Zinken sind raus. 4 Minuten sind rum. Jetzt schnell parken und nach oben laufen auf dem Weg ins Finale. Der Titelverteidiger schafft das hier nach oben. Unter 4,25 mit der Frankenstein Arena im Rücken.
The German Forklift Championship.
That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, Bobby,
that
come
was
on.
so fucking stupid.
Wow, what a naysayer.
Wow,
What a
Bobby.
downer of the show.
Yeah.
This has been the Sim Mind Sports Show, Friday Rewind, Friday 13th, December 13th, live Thursday, December 12th. We'll see you next time. As always, rate, subscribe, review, and go get our behind the paywall. Just click the link in the description below in the comments, or go to simplemindsports.com. We'll read it. We'll summarize it. We'll make the jokes. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to read it. Keep it simple. Just subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Irene.
Ooh. Happy birthday.